It is afternoon now, isn't it? Okay, I'm used to being in front of crowds because I'm a singer and musician, but I'm used to performing. So probably the whole time I'm up here, I'm having to hold back singing an Elvis song. So when Dr. I first asked me to come and speak, I'm like, are you sure? Because I've been, in rock bands all my life, and I kind of just ran through my story briefly with him, and he said that maybe someone could be inspired by my life. So I'm used to talking, but really not about myself, especially growing up with self-esteem problems, so this is really a stretch. How I got involved with the Foundation Fighting Blindness, well, I've been in bands all my life, and I was talking with Dr. Iannacone a couple of years ago about how we could do something to help the research. And I said, well, why don't I start a band, and maybe we can go do concerts and have fundraisers and stuff like that. Great idea. But then I thought, well, how can we get people to come to us? How can we reach more people? I mean, we could do a concert, promote it, and just have 50 people. But how can we get it out to the masses? And I said, well, we can record albums, put it on the internet, and everything that is raised from the sale of our downloads and CDs, we can put towards the research. So I started a band called Search for Sight, and we have 2 albums out. The first one is called Too Many Goodbyes. It is available online only, and our most recent album is called See You Around. At the Vision Walk, I'm actually going to have the CDs, and we're going to be performing an acoustic set so everyone can hear us actually play. Okay, how I got here. When I was little, I had 20/20 vision. And by the time I hit kindergarten, I was wearing glasses. When I was about 7 or 8 years old, I was having trouble seeing the blackboard. I was diagnosed with RP. And as I went through school, of course, it got worse. By the time I hit junior high, I couldn't be in PE anymore because, to be honest, I got tired of getting hit in the face by dodgeballs. I mean, you can only do that so much. It's like, okay, it's time to do something else. Let's have a study hall instead. But when I hit high school, the material I was reading was getting very hard to read. So we asked the school for large print books. Now, I'm from a little town called Caruthersville, Missouri, just up the river. And oh, by the way, I don't consider myself to be a rock star. I call myself a semi-local celebrity, which what that means is I got recognized in Walmart once. Hey, don't you play in a band? Yeah, that's me. But when I hit high school, instead of them just giving me a large print book, because all I wanted to do was fit in, I didn't want to be singled out. They went to the copy machine, set it on 300,000 times the size, and I had to have a wagon to pull around these huge books, which put the spotlight on me. And I was having migraines, and I developed an ulcer. It was not fun. One of the faculty at the school, and it was not Caruthersville, by the way, so I didn't go to Caruthersville High School, so don't hate on them. But the school I was going to, one of the faculty told me when I was thinking about going to homeschooling, they said, if you leave this school, you're never going to amount to anything. And those words rang in my head for a lot of years after that. Well, I did the homeschooling thing. By the time I finished 10th grade, my vision was to the point where I really couldn't do the curriculum anymore, even the large print. I had no idea about assistive technologies. CCTV, if you would have said that to me then, I just would have been totally lost. Then a few years later, I inherited a CCTV from a great uncle who passed away, knew I had a vision problem, and he gave me this ginormous CCTV with more knobs and buttons and switches than the bridge of the Starship Enterprise. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. But I could put a CD under there and I could actually read the lyrics to the CD, which is something I hadn't been able to do in years. Well, I had been playing music. I was always an honor student in school, and to not have graduated just absolutely killed me. I mean, just killed me. And I sank into a huge depression, and the 2 things that got me through was, first of all, my faith, and second of all, music. I always had music to fall back on. If it was recording or playing live or whatever. You know, the music was always there. I had hair halfway down on my back. I was Mr. Rock and Roll, you know. And I was living at home, hiding under my covers, afraid to get out into the real world. If, God forbid, something would have happened to my parents, I would have been up a river because I could do nothing. If I wasn't behind a drum kit or playing bass guitar, you know, I wasn't going to be able to make it in life. And it became very apparent, as much as I loved music, it was not going to be able to put food on the table and for me to make ends meet to have a family. So in 2000, I had a change of mind. It had to be a mindset. I said, I've got to do something. I'm tired of being content in my misery. In 2002, I studied, and with the help of my own CCTV, I got my GED. In 2006, I attended a school in Little Rock, Arkansas that helps prepare you to get a job. You can go into a tax program. There's mobility skills you can learn. I was there for about a month, and what I learned there is I had a lot to learn. And to be honest, I had never been around a whole lot of other blind people. It was a very strange, surreal experience. My roommate came in and laid down, and I said, "Is it going to bother you if I leave the light on?" He said, "I don't know if the light's on or off. I'm blind." I was like, "Oh yeah, sorry." So I left Lions World. I came back home. In 2007, I began in-home computer classes. This guy would come in, taught me how to use Zoom text, taught me how to do Microsoft Word, Excel, Outlook, taught me all this stuff. This is literally in April of 2007. I couldn't turn a computer on. I mean, to find the switch, I probably would have needed a safety net. And in August of the same year, I built the website that my first band still uses and I still maintain to this day. So, 2008 came around, I had an opportunity to get a job. An actual, real job. Now, for a lot of people when they're little, and like me, they see a band on TV that they like, and they say, "I want to grow up and do that." I got a chance to do that. I made CDs, played live, signed autographs, did all that stuff. But at the same time, I had never had a real job in my life. I interviewed for this job, which was a lot of data entry. With the help of a CCTV and a program called Zoom Text, I got the job. And that was in August of 2008. Now, most of the people there, I'm sure they thought, he's going to be in, he's going to be out 2 weeks, he'll fall on his face, literally, and he'll be gone. Keep in mind, this is a factory. We build barges. And even though I've got an office job, there's about 600 people that are employed there. And not only did I keep the job, but on August 18th this year, I celebrated my 5-year anniversary at my job. So actually having a real income in 2010, I moved out on my own. 2011, I married my beautiful wife, Julie. I bought a car. Can you believe it? Me, a blind person, bought a car. Thankfully, my wife drives because it would look pretty stinking funny with 3 white canes tapping on the front of our GMC going down the highway. In 2012, last year, we bought a house. And when I'm 65, it will actually belong to me, but we have a mortgage. Now, I had so many friends involved with the NFB, and I don't know what other organizations there are, you know, that blind people join. And that was all great, you know. But myself, I always felt like, well, they said, "You're not accepting your blindness." Oh yeah, I've accepted it, and I've accepted the fact I don't like it. I know what it's like to have good vision, and I want to get back there again. Matter of fact, my cane that I use is, you know, you can fold it up. We're going to have a party whenever I get my vision back. We're going to go out on the Mississippi River Bridge, and I'm going to throw that thing as far as I can. I'm going to watch it twirl on the horizon, then into the water. Now, I love the name Foundation Fighting Blindness because what I had to do, I had to fight. To get my GED, I had to fight. And you know, when I was at the school in Little Rock, it was a fight. When I got my job, and just to get from the vehicle to the door of the office, it's still a fight. And I looked at all these people at the school. They were there trying to get a job, trying to make it in this world. And when I got to that place where I had achieved what so many of those people wanted to, the fight doesn't stop there. Every day that I get up and I go into my office, it's still a fight. Every time I get up on stage to perform or whatever, it's still a fight. And today, I know it's not a whole lot. We've only been doing Search for Sight just for a little while, but I wanted to be involved. So today, we're going to form a team, Search for Sight, and we're going to start. This is just from CDs and download sales, and it's, like I said, it's just a start. We're going to donate $100 to VISIONWALK on behalf of Search for Sight, and it's just the start of hopefully a lot more to come. So what I would have to say to every one of you who have been affected by blindness, whether it's RP or any of the other diseases that have been talked about, you know what, even if there's no cure, it's not the end. But the reason we're here is because there is a cure in sight. And no matter where you get to in life, if you're content in your misery, you don't have to be. Because if anybody can do this thing, if I can do it, anyone can. Because I'm just a schmo from Caruthersville, Missouri. And now I get to stand in front of all you and tell my story. So what I would say to you is, no matter where you're at in life, don't stop fighting. Thank you.